Welcome to Torogu Naktu site. This is the entrance gate to the plant where Makon is constructing 150 million scuff gas processing plant. At the entrance gate you can see we are already doing the stormwater drain from the plant that we empty into the main channels that are draining to the river. And up there are buildings housing the JTF. We make use of the JTF because of the volatile nature of Niger Delta, and also we have our own local securities as well, side by side with the JTF. The road construction is up to the gate. You can see one side we've made it so that by the time it cures we open the other side of the gate to enable entrance into the gate. At the left is the muster point for the workers. In case of any emergency, every worker inside the plant is evacuated to this mustering point where head counts are being taken care of. This is the interface between the old plant and our new plant, NAC 1, NAC 2. We have an interface between the two plants. We're going to take some gas from NAC 1 and process and return it to their sales line. There are a few other areas we are going to interface with them. On the test model, we're going to send our gas to NAC 1 for testing of the wells. We have a common condensate return line as well as produced water. For black start, we are going to take fuel gas from NAC 1 into NAC 2 and vice versa. This is the big launcher manifold. We are going to tie in the plant here, so our gas is coming in from this point. And there is a pipeline linking this manifold, which is about 14 kilometers away, and it's in Ughelli East. So the gas flows 14 kilometers into this place, and then we are going to link here with our plant, and then it goes into our plant for processing. So this is our tying point, the interface between the manifold and NAC 2. Where we are now is the pipe rack running from the east to the west. On this pipe rack, both the left and the right side are housing the process kits. Here you have the main process area, but when we get over to the north-south pipe rack, you have the utility process kits. But here you have the main process kits. This is the inlet valve skid that will bring the gas from Ughelli East field via the big launcher manifold, and it goes into the plant. We have two lines coming. One is the bulk line and the other one is the test line. And as soon as the gas leaves the inlet valve skid, it goes into the slug catcher because it has traveled for quite a distance where the liquids will be knocked off. The gas leaves the slug catcher and goes into the cooler to drop its temperature for processing. This cooler is also going to handle the hot wells or hot gas coming from NAC 1, and then it will go in there. The temperature is dropped to enable us have an effective separation during the JT effect. And now you have these two vessels. The smaller one is for Utorogu separator, while the bigger one is for the Ughelli East separator. So the separation will be done here after the cooling, and then the gas leaves the separator to the heat exchangers or the JT valve unit. This is the gas to gas heat exchanger. There are 3 barrels, but they are all linked as one. Gas to gas in the sense that you are using a hot gas to heat up a cold gas, whereas the hot gas takes the cold gas to drop its temperature to required specification. And the gas leaves this vessel to the next skid where you have the JT effect. What is going to happen there is that gas comes in a high pressure, say about 120 to 150 bar, and is dropped using a valve, dropped its temperature to about 76-75 bar, and then there is going to be a chilling effect, and to avoid hydrates, glycol is pumped into it to disperse the hydrate formation. And after the JT effect, it goes up to the vessel, the LTX, which is the low temperature separator, where the gas will be separated from the liquid. The gas leaves that vessel through the heat exchanger again and then to the cells whenever it meets its specification. Up there in the skid, you have the temperature control valve that senses whenever the gas meets its temperature, it allows it to go to the cells line, but if it doesn't, it sends it back for a second time separation. This is the cells valve skid. It's made up of two parts. We have the physical measurement and also we have the custody transfer. The custody transfer goes back to Really East, where we have some customers like Delta Glass, DSC and others. Whereas the other physical gas will be measured, passed to Naguan, and then from there it goes into the Wapik line or the Alps line, which is going to the domestic market. What we are looking at now is the inlet cooler. As I've earlier said, this cooler will handle all the gas coming in, drop their temperature to require processing temperature before letting them go into the separator for onward processing. The next vessel we are seeing, the bigger one, is the Really East separator, and the smaller one is the Otorogu separator. The gas coming from Really East is going into that separator, and while the ones we are going to take from Naguan will go into the smaller separator. Then the next skid we are looking at with the barrels is the heat exchanger, and that is going to process the gas from the LTS and the incoming gas from the separators. The two smaller barrels you're looking at now is the liquid to gas heat exchangers. The green building you're seeing is housing the recycle or off-gas compressor. The compressor is going to take off all the gas that would have gone for flare, compress them into a reasonable temperature, and takes them back to the LTS for processing. The pipe running to the north, the pipe rack running to the north, we call it the north pipe rack extension. It crosses from the plant road on the north and continues to the flare. The skid facing us now is the stabilizer column skid. Beside it, you will see a tall tower. That is the stabilizer column itself. What this is going to do is going to take all our condensate after separation, which is in their unstabilized state. It will now stabilize them before we send them to either the pipeline or to the future condensate tank farm. Right down after the stabilizer column, you find out you have another high skid with a vessel on top. That is the heat medium skid. The heat medium provides the heating requirement of the plant. This time is going to use oil. We're going to heat oil, circulate the oil to every part of the plant that heating is required, and the oil is returned back, heated up again. So it's a closed loop, and there is a circulation pump right on that skid. So this line of arrangement is all utilities for the plant. That's the Makon fabrication yard, Eureka. What you are looking at is the fabrication yard administrative offices and conference room. The yard was set up to enable us to do fabrication of any sort, and we've been carrying out all the fabrication, and all the interconnecting pipings were fabricated here, transferred to NAC2 for installation. Also in this yard we have 100-man accommodation incorporated in it, where we house our essential workers to enable them resume early and also work late when necessary. This is the main fabrication workshop. We call it workshop 1. It's about 20 meter by 20 meter, which gives us about 400 meters square space. We do all our main fabrication here. We have a 5-ton crane to move in and lift up things that we are fabricating. Then the next one is the iron bending workshop. We do all our iron rebars, reinforcement, bending shadows here, and then take it to site for installation. The shop next to it is the carpentry workshop, where we do all the woodworks, prepare all the formworks and whatsoever that is of wood for the job. And down is our power generation unit. We have the public power through a transformer, 500 kVA transformer. But when we are not supplied with public power, we go on our 250 kVA generator, which carries the workshop and everything being done there. But in the night, we shed the load. We go down to our 100 kVA generator. Right in front of this parked truck is the maintenance workshop, where we bring in all our equipment and vehicles for maintenance. The next building we are looking at is the warehouse, where we stock all our materials, and then it's being issued to the workers from this point. It controls every pin that comes into this environment. We have a ticketing system that shows whatsoever leaves and comes in. Then the shop down is the second fabrication shop, which is about 12 meter by 12 meter, about 144 meter square meter floor space, where we also do fabrication. Right now we are doing some piping fabrications in there. And right in the middle here is a pipe stock, and all the containers overside are materials we use for fabrication, where we stock material. This is the fabrication camp accommodation. The accommodation is embedded in the fabrication yard for the workers to be able to come to work early, close late, and can work extra hours if need be. We can accommodate up to 100 personnel in this facility, and we've been running it for the past 3 years now, and I think everybody is happy with it. So far so good. Construction is still going on, and we are about 82% done. Our target is to be sure that this plant is commissioned come December 2014. We intend to work day and night to cover up with the weather downtime. We hope come October ending early November we may start commissioning of some of the units as we get them done. Once more, welcome to Makon facility, where Makon is building a 150 million scope gas processing plant for MPDC. Thank you.